Isang mapagpalang umaga sa inyong lahat, lalo na sa mga estudyante ko from BE Ed Second Year Block 3 and BE Ed Second Year Block 19 at Daraga Community College. So we are now down in Unit 2 of our course module in Teaching Social Studies in Elementary Grades of Philippine History and Government. The title of our Unit 2 is Instructional Planning. We all know that planning is a vital key to a successful endeavor, especially sa ating mga guro. Dahil tayo mga guro, pre-serviceman or experienced teachers, we are required to write and prepare detailed lesson plans or daily lesson logs before we teach a particular subject. Bakit? Because this will ensure that activities and materials are well prepared, class time is maximized, and the instructional goals are being attained. So in this unit, you will be able to familiarize yourselves with the basics of instructional planning, particularly its types and importance in the learning process. You will also learn the different things that should be considered in planning instruction. And you will also introduce to 3 instructional models that are commonly employed in teaching social studies. And finally, this is my favorite and important part of this unit, which is lesson planning. So class, you will be presented with the different formats and components of a lesson plan, and by the end of this unit, it is expected that you will be able to develop a detailed lesson plan of a social studies lesson in the elementary grades. Class, i-ready ninyo ang mga sarili ninyo because after you learn on how to make a detailed or daily lesson plan and knowing the different teaching strategies, you will going to put it into practice through a demo teaching. Okay? Good luck everyone, and of course, I will going to guide you in developing lesson plans for social studies. Okay? In this video discussion, we will talk about the basics of instructional planning and its importance in the learning process. Never begin a day until it is finished on paper by Jim Rohn. So, ano ibig sabihin nito? Meaning, writing down our goals means that you can visually see them. You have a clear picture kung saan ka papunta at kung ano ang gusto mong makamit. You will be more productive if you can see what you have to do instead of just thinking about it. Katulad lang ng sa instructional planning, bago may tuturo ang isang subject, you have to write down first your goals and prepare your lesson plans. It can help the teacher to be well prepared and be aware of what he or she intends on teaching the students. Let me share first the objectives of this lesson. So at the end of this topic, the students will be able to describe the process of instructional planning, differentiate the types of instructional planning, explain the importance of instructional planning, and develop a unit plan for 1 grade level based on the K-12 curriculum guide for social studies. What is instructional planning? According to the Department of Education, it is the process of systematically planning, developing, evaluating, and managing the instructional process by using principles of teaching and learning. Sabi dito, it is a process and it is also systematic. Ibig sabihin, ito ay organisado at merong series of actions or steps to be taken in order to achieve a particular result. At para magawa natin itong systematically planning, developing, evaluating, and managing the instructional process, we need to use the principles of teaching and learning. Ito pong principles of teaching and learning, ito yung mga laws and theories in teaching and learning, including the approaches and strategies. And tatandaan nyo po that every successful idea, it comes with the best systematic process, and these principles that we use will come up with the best solution for the goals that we made. Ayan. So class, don't be discouraged when things don't go as planned. May mga pagkakataon talaga na nagkakamali tayo and yung plans natin is hindi naman siya nangyari nung ginawa na natin ito. But don't be discouraged because our progress and success takes time. So be patient and don't give up. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, just keep on going and fighting. In instructional planning, teacher attempts to organize the different ingredients of learning with the end goal in mind. Ano ba tong end goal in mind? Ibig sabihin, first things first. Okay? Bago natin dapat simulan ng isang bagay, isipin muna natin kung ano yung magiging resulta o kung ano yung kahihinat na nito. Pagplanuhan muna natin bago tayo umaksyon. Gusto natin ng magandang result? Then we have to begin with the end in mind. Katulad nating mga teachers, di ba? Bago natin ituro ang isang subject, bago natin ituro ang isang lesson, gumagawa muna tayo ng lesson plan. And dyan sa lesson plan, nandyan yung objectives natin. Doon sa objectives, yun yung mga dapat na makamit ng mga estudyante pagkatapos ng lesson. Okay? So, tayong mga teacher, we should prepare first our students sa mga dapat nilang matutunan. How? Okay? Take note. First, describing the learning goals. Bakit kailangan i-describe ang learning goals? It is because for both the students and teachers understand them. Second, share the goals with the students. Ayan. So, napaka-importante na bago tayo mag-start ng ating lesson, kailangan muna natin i-share sa mga students natin yung objectives or yung goal natin para sa topic na yon. And finally, we have to use it. Okay? Use those goals and use those objectives. Kapag kasi ang isang estudyante o ang isang learner ay alam niya o nauunawaan niya kung ano ang mga dapat niyang matutunan, magkakaroon siya ng oras na ihanda ang kanyang sarili at mas matututunan niya ng maayos yung mga material o yung mga lesson na itunuturo mo as a teacher. So, this is being done in order to ensure that students attain the set curricular goals. Okay? So, before you start anything, learn how to finish it. Instructional planning is a process that is ideally done before a lesson, unit, quarter, semester, or school year. Take note of that. And however, it is also important to note that instructional planning is a continuous process. So class, ang mga plano or plans can be modified. Pwede itong baguhin or it can be made flexible in order to accommodate the varied needs of learners upang maibigay natin ang iba't ibang pangangailangan ng mga bata. May mga pagkakataon kasi na ang isang strategy, it can work and sometimes it cannot work. Dapat kung ano yung pangangailangan ng bata is maibigay natin. We can modify our plans, okay? Sabihin na natin that we are already done with the plans we have written and made and maganda yung naging resulta or na-attain natin yung goals or objectives na sinat natin, it doesn't mean na hihinto na tayo doon. We should keep on improving and developing. Hindi ibig sabihin na porke maganda ang resulta is perfect na yon. Okay? There's no such thing as perfection. Okay, practice doesn't make perfect, but practice makes progress. Because practicing our plans will let us know kung ano pa ang mga dapat nating baguhin at i-develop. Okay? At yung instructional planning kasi, it also dapat mag-adapt din siya sa changes na nangyayari sa paligid natin at syempre sa mga pangangailangan ng ating learners. Okay? In instructional planning, there are 3 questions that teachers need to be addressed. First, what should be taught? Ano ba yung dapat ituro? Second, how should it be taught? Paano ito ituro? And third, how should instruction and student learning be assessed? Syempre dito sa number 3, gagamit tayo ng iba't ibang assessment activities for us to know kung natuto ba yung mga estudyante or kung ano ba yung mga dapat nating baguhin sa ating instruction. With those assessment activities, malalaman din natin kung yung objectives ba na sinet natin ay na-attain ng mga bata. Ito yung magbibigay sa atin ng idea kung ano pa yung dapat i-develop sa ating instruction at kung ano ang dapat na improve at i-develop din sa mga bata. Okay? And these questions need to be addressed by the teachers for the instructional planning be considered effective. Along with that, there are 2 vital characteristics that teachers need to acquire. First, being informed decision makers. So, being informed decision makers, you have to be fully familiar with the curriculum in order to determine which topic should be given greater emphasis. So, dapat meron tayong kaalaman at pamilyar tayo sa curriculum na meron tayo. Saka as a teacher, syempre part yun ng trabaho natin na pag-aralan at alamin ito for us to become effective teachers at alam din natin kung ano yung mga itinuturo natin. And also, to become informed decision makers, kailangan alam din natin at magkaroon tayo ng idea sa mga prior knowledge na meron ng ating mga estudyante by giving formative assessment activities. Ayan. So, kailangan din natin malaman yung aptitude na meron sila. Ano ba tong aptitude? Ito yung mga natural talents at special abilities ng mga learners. Kasi sa bawat classroom, meron tayong madaming estudyante dyan at iba-iba, okay, ng natural talents at special abilities ang mga yan. And interest. Diba? Knowing our students, it will give us idea and it is also beneficial for us in choosing appropriate techniques and strategies that will facilitate learning. Okay? And second, teacher must be reflective practitioners. Ayan. So, after determining an instructional plan, teachers need to revisit the curricular standards and competencies and ensure that these are attained. Napaka-importante po nito na kailangan nating mag-reflect pagkatapos nating gawin or pagkatapos nating i-execute ang ating plano. Okay? Para malaman natin kung ano yung mga dapat pang i-develop. Diba? If it is, for example, being attained, kung na-attain naman natin yung objectives na sinet natin, then mag-isip pa rin tayo ng bagong ways for it to be better at para mas mapaganda pa ito. Or kung hindi naman ito na-attain, then ilista natin yung mga hindi magandang nangyari doon and yung parts na dapat na nating baguhin at palitan. Okay? Para ito ay ma-develop at ma-enhance pa. Okay? And being a reflective practitioners, we have also to track students' progress. Ayan. And ponder which techniques and strategies should be retained or discarded. Kung ano man yung mga hindi magandang nangyari doon sa instruction natin, alisin na natin and palitan natin ng bago na magpapaganda sa ating instruction. Okay? And having these 2 vital characteristics of teachers, it will lead to an effective instruction. Let's now proceed to the types of instructional planning. Okay? Instructional planning takes on many forms. May iba't ibang uri siya. And one way of categorizing it is by looking at the time frame for planning. Yung tagal ng panahon ng pagpaplano nito. So, under this, three classifications arise. First, the long-range planning. Second, unit planning. And third, lesson planning. Isa-isahin natin tong tatlong to. Ano ba yung pagkakaiba-iba nila? Okay? First, we have here the long-range planning. So, itong type na to ng instructional planning is the most challenging one for beginning teachers, especially since this involves planning for the whole year. So, whole school year, itong plano na to. Okay? Sa puntong ito, mahalaga para sa ating mga guro ang paggawa ng tinatawag na curriculum mapping and the process of determining when you will teach each topic or content. Ito yung proseso ng pagtukoy kung kailan natin ituturo ang isang paksa o konsepto. At kailangan gawin itong curriculum mapping para matukoy at masolusyonan ang mga academic gaps, redundancies at misalignments para ma-improve ang ating curriculum. So, bago pa magsimula ang panibagong school year, kailangan malaman muna natin kung ano pa yung mga dapat baguhin through long-range planning and this curriculum mapping. At para magawa natin itong curriculum mapping, kailangan natin syempreng gamitin ang ating tiyaran, ang ating curriculum guide. Ayan. Ano ba tong curriculum guide? Kaya nga guide, di ba? Kasi ito ang dokumento na nagsisilbing gabay sa mga guro ng mga approaches o mga hakbang for a successful planning and implementation of the curriculum at school. Yung guidelines dito ay nakafocus. Yung guidelines dito sa curriculum guide ay nakafocus sa specific learning area or subject. For example, araling panlipunan. Bawat subject po ay merong kanya-kanyang curriculum guide. Sa atin, meron tayong araling panlipunan, gabay, pang-curriculum. Ayan. Or para din sa particular educational level, specific group of learnings. Yung mga content standards, learning competencies, performance standards ay meron yan sa bawat specific grade level na angkop din sa grade level nila. And this also provides ideas, suggestions, and recommendations intended to help teachers to make informed decision or be more prescriptive and detailed, specifying the content, activities, tasks, and materials to be used by the teacher. So, lahat ng content for the school year, okay, for the school year ay nasa curriculum guide. Take note of that. And we have questions to ask ourselves before using this curriculum guide. First, how it is best to divide the topics and standards into quarters and or semesters. Second, how could social studies be integrated with other subjects or with holidays and celebration throughout the school year. So class, hindi lang curriculum guide ang pwede nating magamit sa curriculum mapping, pwede din tayong gumamit ng textbooks. Okay? And by using Araling Panlipunan Curriculum Guide or textbooks, we need to ask these questions, the following questions na ibinigay ko dito. Okay? And also, understanding these two questions bago magsimula ang ating actual school year ay napaka-importanteng hakbang para sa ating mga guro to be informed decision makers. Okay po? And also, this curriculum guide is the teacher's most important tool in long-range planning. Napaka-importante na nito sa long-range planning. Itong curriculum guide dito sa Pilipinas, ginawa ito or the one who prepared this is the Department of Education. Okay? In curriculum mapping a particular grade level, it is important to look at the following. Una, grade level standard, which states the overall goal for the year. And second, the topic, which describes the general theme of the grade level. And third, of course, the content. It outlines the lessons that will be covered. Itong tatlong ito, matatagpuan po ito dito sa ating curriculum guide. Class, itong current curriculum guide for every grade level na ginagamit natin, it is already divided the content into 4 quarters, each one revolving a specific theme. So, tingnan natin tong curriculum guide or Araling Panlipunan Grade 1 Curriculum Guide. Tingnan nyo. Itong content, tingnan nyo yung content, nahati siya, nandito na yung 4 na quarters. Ito yung lesson or ito yung content sa buong school year. Okay? Itong first quarter, ako ay natatangi. Tapos meron siyang lessons or subtopics dito sa baba. And ang aking pamilya, second quarter. And third quarter, ang aking paaralan. At fourth quarter, ako at ang aking kapaligiran. Class, it is important to note that curriculum guide exists as mere guides only. Guide lang natin to. Kasi, kumbaga, dito sa curriculum guide, ito yung ideal na dapat makamit ng mga bata, yung mga goals na nandito. Pero, 'di ba, sabi ko nga kanina, iba-iba ang bawat mag-aaral. Students have different pacing and diverse needs which should ultimately considered in curriculum mapping. Dapat nating i-consider or i-acknowledge ang pagkakaiba-iba ng mga batang to. So we as reflective teachers, we take into account these factors and do not just teach for the purpose of covering all the topics. Hindi dapat tayo yung teacher na ang focus lang natin or ang goal lang natin is makapagturo ng lesson sa bata. Kailangan din nating pakinggan or i-acknowledge yung mga bata. Diba? Kasi may mga pangangailangan yan na hindi naman adaptable or hindi naman applicable yung minsan strategies na ginagamit natin. Okay? Kailangan nating pahalagahan yung diversity nila. And reflective teachers also ensure that the goals they set for themselves and their students for the school year are aligned with the grade level standards and topic. Napaka-importante, class, na madalas dapat nating bisitahin ang ating goals at gamitin ito to monitor, implement, and assess our instruction. Okay po? Okay, class, itong image na nakikita ninyo, ito yung isang page ng ating curriculum guide kung saan yung tinatawag na grade level standards or pamantayan sa bawat baitang ay dito matatagpuan. Kung mapapansin ninyo, bawat grade level ay meron silang standards which states the overall goal for the year. So, dito, ayan, yung mga pamantayan sa pagkatuto, ito yung goal, ito yung overall goal ng grade level sa buong taon. Okay? Kailangan to sa ating long range planning. Ito namang susunod, dito matatagpuan yung saklaw at daloy ng curriculum kung saan yung topic ay matatagpuan. Itong topic na sinasabi natin, it describes the general theme of the grade level. For example, itong grade 1, ako at ang aking pamilya at paaralan, yung description niya ay ito. Matatagpuan po itong page na to ay itong bahagi ng ating curriculum guide sa page 11. Etong next slide, ito yung page 13 ng ating curriculum guide kung saan dito nagsisimula ang curriculum guide ng bawat grade level na meron tayo. Okay? Siyempre, magsisimula tayo sa grade 1 or sa baitang 1. Kung nakikita ninyo ang itong image na to ng ating curriculum guide, nahahati siya sa 6 columns. Kung saan yung first column, nandyan yung tinatawag na content o nilalaman. Itong content, it outlines the lessons to be covered dito sa grade 1. All the lessons to be covered sa grade 1 sa buong taon ay nandito siya nakalagay sa content. Okay? For example, ito. sa unang markahan. 'Di ba sabi ko nga kanina, bawat grade level ay nahahati siya sa 4 quarters. Okay, yung 4 quarters sa whole school year na yon. Dito sa unang markahan, ang first lesson to be covered ay ang pagkilala sa sarili. Ayan. Under that, pagkilala sa sarili, meron pa po yung mga subtopic. At dito sa unang markahan, nandito yung content standard. Ayan. And nandito din yung pamantayan sa pagganap o yung performance standards. Okay, yung dapat makamit ng mga bata through performance, and yung pamantayan sa pagkatuto or learning competencies. Dito sa learning competencies, ito yung objectives. Okay? Yung objectives na dapat makamit ng bata. For example, sa everyday lesson plan na gagawin natin. Ayan. So, at meron naman itong code. Ayan. Meron ditong code. Itong code, inilalagay ito sa isang part ng lesson plan. Pagdating natin sa lesson 8, ituturo ko sa inyo kung paano to gamitin na code na to at kung saan ito ilalagay sa ating lesson plan. At kung makikita ninyo, meron ditong learning materials. Dito sa learning materials, ito yung resources or dito nakalista yung lahat ng references. Okay? References na pwede nating makuha or pwede nating gamitin para sa ating content or sa lessons to be covered. Okay? Para sa ating content or sa lessons to be covered. Nandito siya matatagpuan yung references. Kaya hindi tayo mahihirapan, hindi kayo mahihirapan sa paghanap ng references kasi nakalagay na siya dyan. For example, ano yung pangalan ng batayang aklat at kung saang page siya mahahanap. Okay po? Let's now proceed to the second type of instructional planning, which is unit planning. Pag sinabi nating unit, ibig sabihin isang pangkat or portion or a major division of the year-long plan. Kanina kasi sa long-range planning, yung plano ay pangbuong taon. Yun, ginagawa yung long-range planning before pa magsimula ang school year para malaman natin kung ano yung mga dapat baguhin or dapat i-develop para bago pa magsimula yung school year ay mabago na yon. Dito naman sa unit planning, portion lang to ng year-long plan. Okay? It is a cluster of related lessons organized around a central topic, theme, issue, or problem and developed in a logical sequence. So, kahit itong unit plan is one or portion lang ng year-long plan, kailangan sequential pa rin siya para meron tayong procedure sa pag-attain ng goals at organisado yung ating magiging instruction. And next, it can be designed for any length of time, a week or whole quarter. Ang unit plan kasi class, pwede mo siyang gawin, pwede kang magplano ng lesson through for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or pwede din siyang whole quarter. Sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, nabanggit ko na bawat grade level ay mayroong 4 quarters in a year. So, yung isang quarter, pwede na natin yun maituring na unit. Pwede mo na yung gawan ng unit plan. So, let us look at the curriculum guide for social studies for example of unit in grade 1. Ayan. So, dito sa grade 1 level, ito ay nahahati sa 4 na quarters. So, lahat naman ng grade level ay nahahati siya sa 4 na quarters. Dito, each quarter, ayan, can be considered as a unit. So, pwede tayong pumili ng isang quarter lang dyan. For example, itong quarter 1. Ayan. Piliin natin itong quarter 1. Yung quarter 1, pwede na natin yan gawan ng isang unit plan. Ayan. And now, we have here the elements and processes in unit planning that is recommended by Bale and Bollick in 2013. So, these are the following elements and processes that we need to follow in planning a unit. First, we have unit title. Siyempre, kailangan natin ng title. You have to develop an idea or adopt a topic for study and translate it into a brief, clear statement of your theme or problem focus. Sabi nga natin kanina, bawat quarter pwede na natin yon gamitin or gawan ng unit plan. Ang ginawa ko ditong example ng unit title ay ang aking komunidad noon at ngayon. Matatagpuan siya sa grade 2 curriculum guide, sa grade 2 level na to. At kinuha ko siya sa ikalawang markahan ng grade 2 level. Okay, tingnan nyo to. Ayan. Kinuha ko siya sa ikalawang markahan ng grade 2 level. At yung title ng quarter na yun na rin ang ginawa kong unit title. Kaya yung ang aking komunidad noon at ngayon. Okay? Second, we have the time requirement. Here, you have to determine approximately how much time will be spent on the unit. So, kailangan mong ilagay dyan kung ilang time ba or ilang oras ba yung gugugulin sa unit na ginawa mo, sa unit plan na ginawa mo. For example, ang nilagay ko ay 12 hours and 30 minutes. Itong 12 hours and 30 minutes for 10 weeks siya. Ang araling panlipunan subject kasi sa DepEd, 3 days a week lang siya tinuturo and per day 45 minutes. So, ang nilagay ko dyan ay 12 hours and 30 minutes. Third, we have list of topics. You have to brainstorm and break the big idea or theme for the units into a set of more specific ideas and subtopics. Okay, let's look for an example for this one. And these are the example of list of topics in grade 2. At since napili ko sa grade 2 yung second quarter, ito yung second quarter content niya. Ito yung mga lessons to be covered sa second quarter. Ayan. First, under that, ang aking komunidad noon at ngayon, merong ang kwento ng pinagmulan ng aking komunidad. At pangalawa, ang kultura sa aking komunidad. Under this, ang kultura sa aking komunidad, meron ditong specific lessons na pamumuhay, tradisyon o kaugalian, mga pagdiriwang at sining. Class, kahit yan na yung nakalagay sa content, meron pa yang subtopics. Meron pa yang specific topics na need to be broken down. Ayan, dito sa, for example, sa ang kwento ng pinagmulan ng aking komunidad. Doon sa libro or doon sa learner's material na nakuha ko or nahiram ko, ang subtopics na under this sa ang kwento ng pinagmulan ng aking komunidad ay eto, aralin 1, ang larawan ng aming komunidad at mga sagisag, estruktura at mga bantayog sa aming komunidad. At dito naman sa letter B, ang kultura ng aking komunidad. Under that, yung subtopics, ang mga pagdiriwang na pansipiko. Okay? Papasok siya dito sa mga pagdiriwang. At meron pa, ang mga pagdiriwang na panrelihiyon. Okay? Dito rin siya papasok sa mga pagdiriwang at sa tradisyon. Okay? So, kahit siya divided na into specific content, may mga subtopics pa yan. So, nakadepende sa atin mga teacher as informed decision makers kung paano natin i-organize yung mga topics na dapat nating i-lesson sa ating mga mag-aaral. Okay po? Class, itong image na to, itong isang page ng ating curriculum guide, ayan, tingnan nyo yung content. Sakop pa nito yung ikalawang markahan or yung second quarter. Dito, itong specific contents na to, pwede natin mahanap yung mga lessons or topics for this one dito sa learning materials. Kasi nakalagay naman na dito yung references. Okay, may pages na din yan kung saang learners materials natin siya mahanap or specific na aklat. Okay? Number 4, we have the target students. You have to indicate for which group of students or grade levels the unit is intended. So, sa akin, syempre, ang ilalagay kong target students ay grade 2. And number 5, the rationale. You have to construct a brief overview of what the unit is about and why it is important to learn it. So, kailangan magbigay ng pangkalahatang ideya para syempre malaman kung ano yung magkaroon din ng ideya kung ano yung aasahan sa unit na yan and bakit mahalaga siyang mapag-aralan ng mga bata. So, here is my example of rationale. So, the unit is all about on how the learners will understand and develop an awareness and appreciation to the community that they lived in. Learning the community and its rich culture and history can be a vital component to learners' success. Ayan. Number 6, we have goals. So you have to identify a goal or set basic goals that the unit will be designed to accomplish. So here, this is the goal that I have set. Ayan. At the end of the unit, the students will be able to demonstrate awareness, understanding, and appreciation of the past and present culture of the community they live in, using the concepts of continuity and change, responsibility, needs and wants, identity, simple geographical concepts such as location and resources, and of witnesses of history such as oral tradition, relics of history, arts, religious practices, and celebrations. So, yung goal na yan, sinet ko yan for the whole quarter or for the whole unit. Okay? Para yan sa buong unit. Okay, class? And after goal setting, you also have to set specific or outline specific objectives that will enable the goals to be accomplished. Make sure to arrange them in logical and sequential order. So here sa objectives, outlining objectives, you need to be specific, logical, and sequential. Di ba sa ating curriculum guide, doon makikita yung contents or lessons to be covered para sa isang quarter. So, make sure that yung objective is sequential or pasunod-sunod din katulad ng lesson na nakalagay doon sa kung paano siya nagkakasunod-sunod. Okay? Dito sa akin, dalawa lang yung ginawa ko or example para syempre magkaroon ka rin ng idea kung paano yung pag-set ng objective or ng specific objective. Number 1, the students understand the story of their own community and they will be able to characterize their own community at different times. So, paano ba tayo magsiset ng objectives? Or saan ba natin pwede makuha yung objectives? So, balik tayo doon sa ating curriculum guide. Okay? Let's check it sa next slide. Ayan. Ito yung image kung saan nakalagay sa ating curriculum guide yung ating yung content or lessons to be covered sa ikalawang markahan sa grade 2. Ayan. Ito ba kayong mga specific lessons to be covered? Ayan. Ayan. So here, sabi ko nga kanina, saan ba natin pwedeng makuha yung objectives or specific objectives na pwede nating ilagay sa ating unit planning para din ma-target or ma-attain yung goal na sinet natin. Dito, ito sa pamantayang pagkatuto or learning competencies. Pwede din natin dito kunin yung mga specific objectives. Basta dapat is aligned siya doon sa goal na sinet mo for the whole unit. Okay? For example, dito sa sining, sabi ko nga kanina, it should be logical and sequential. So, dito sa sining, yung specific objective na pwede nating gamitin dito ay ito sa 9.4. Natatalakay ang iba't ibang uri ng sining na nagpapakilala sa sariling komunidad. Halimbawa, panitikan, musika, sayaw, sports, at iba pa. So, ayan. Pwede nyo na yun kunin dito. Okay, malinaw? Number 8, we have teaching strategies. You have to identify and develop related significant teaching strategies and activities. So, ayan, kailangan natin syempre ilagay dyan yung mga teaching strategies na dapat natin gamitin sa pagtuturo ng lessons natin sa buong quarter. Kailangan yon. Paano ba ito ituturo? Syempre, using those teaching strategies. Dito, ang nilagay ko ay para doon sa unit na yon sa quarter 2 ay inquiry-based teaching strategy, technology-based interactive teaching strategy, role play and simulation, and lecture discussion. Marami pa yan, pwede pa yan dagdagan kasi iba't ibang lessons or topics ang nandun, pwede pa siyang dagdagan. Yan lang yung naibigay ko munang example sa inyo para may ideya kayo kung ano tong mga teaching strategies na ito. Number 9, we have here the resources. So you have to identify, locate, and organize all the individuals and the instructional resources that are available and will be needed. So ano pa yung mga resources na gagamitin mo para i-apply doon sa mga lessons na dapat mong ituro sa buong quarter sa mga bata? Dito nilagay ko, first, Araling Panlipunan 2, Learner's Module or Learner's Material. Kasi ginamit ko yung libro ng Phoenix Publishing House, which is Bagong Lakbay ng Lahing Pilipino. It is a learner's material. So we have other resources na nilagay ko na pwede kong gamitin para sa buong quarter or sa aking unit plan. Tingnan natin sa next slide. Ayan. Another resources, nilagay ko dito, laptop, projector, Araling Panlipunan 2, teacher's guide, PowerPoint presentation, internet connection, or Wi-Fi. Ayan. Yan, may idea na kayo kung ano yung mga resources na pwede ninyong magamit. Pwede ding, hindi lang naman yan, madami pang ibang resources. Kayo na ang bahala kung ano yung ilalagay nyo sa inyong unit plan. Number 10, we have here, evaluation procedures. So you have to develop a plan to evaluate the effectiveness of the unit. You have to include formal and informal assessment. So dito mo na ilalagay kung paano mo i-assess or evaluate yung effectiveness ng unit mo. Okay? Or unit plan mo. Example, synthesize all the learning skills, concepts, and values learned in an entire quarter. Performance tasks, for example, performance tasks that emanate from the lesson objectives. And I will also use practice exercises for the specific lessons, short quizzes and recitation to assess kung na-attain ba ng mga bata yung sinet kong objectives or yung sinet kong goal. And presentations, of course. Ayan. So, doon sa inyong module, yung binigay ko sa inyong module, meron kayong gagawin doon sa task 3 kung saan you have to develop your own unit plan. So you have to read yung sa harness, yung task 3 sa module 5. You have to read the K-12 curriculum guide for social studies, and you have to choose one quarter or one unit from grade 1 to 6. And you have to come up with a unit plan by using the elements given by Bell and Bolick 2013 as a guide. Yun po, yung tinalakay kong elements, itong elements and processes in unit planning by Bell and Bolick. Ayan, yan na yung example. Pwede nyo na tong gawing guide, yung binigay kong examples in doing your unit plan. And nandiyan na din kung paano nyo gagamitin yung curriculum guide para sa unit plan na to. Kayo na lang yung bahala kung ano yung mga ilalagay nyo dyan. Kung anong quarter or kung anong grade level ang gagawa nyo ng unit plan. Just choose one grade level, and to that one grade level, choose one quarter. And you have to come up with your own unit plan. Okay? Please be guided sa examples na ibinigay ko. And kung may questions kayo about this unit planning, you can ask or message in our GC, or you can also message me directly kung gusto nyo akong tanungin ng direkta. Ayun, sige. Okay? Ayan. So, after doing the curriculum mapping and producing a unit plan, ang next challenge ng teacher is to come up with a, number 3, lesson plan. Okay? We have here now sa lesson planning, which is the third type of instructional planning. Ayan. Sabi dito, lesson plan serves as an outline of what you will be teaching in a given day or days. Okay? Kung yung long-range planning for the whole year and yung unit planning ay for the whole quarter, ang lesson planning naman ay for every day. Okay? Sa pang-araw-araw. Okay? Dito sa lesson plan, paano ba i-breakdown ng teacher yung mga lessons na nasa unit plan para magamit niya yon para magamit niya yon for his or her everyday lessons. Ayan. It should follow a logical sequence that will facilitate maximum learning for students. Ayan. So, dito, logical sequence din. Siyempre, may step-by-step process to kung paano mo i-deliver yung lesson. May mga parts ang lesson plan. Okay? At itong lesson plan, napakahalaga nito because it gives the teacher a concrete direction of what he or she wants to accomplish for the day. Sabi ng isang research, ang pagkatuto daw ng mga mag-aaral ay naiuugnay sa pagpaplano ng guro. And one major explanation is that when plan is ready, teachers can focus on its implementation. Take note of that because every part or yung bawat parte ng lesson plan ay malaking impacts sa learning process ng mga mag-aaral. Okay? To illustrate how a unit can be broken down into different lessons, let us go back to the Curriculum Guide for Social Studies Grade 2. Ayan, hahati-hatiin natin yung unit into different lessons. Ayan. Para magamit ito sa lesson plan natin, yung everyday or yung daily lesson plan natin. Ayan. Balikan natin itong grade 2 sa curriculum guide. Ayan. Yung second quarter or yung ikalawang markahan, diba? Ayan. Ang aking komunidad ngayon at noon. So, it can be broken down into many lessons based sa given learning competencies, 'di ba? Ito yung ano natin, learning competencies dito sa ayan. Dito sa unang lesson. Ito ang kwento ng pinagmulan ng aking komunidad. So, sa unang 2 araw, yung teacher pwede siyang mag-focus on achieving competency number 1. Okay? Sa unang 2 araw, itong number 1 competency lang muna ang bibigyan niya ng focus. Nakapagsasalaysay ng pinagmulan ng sariling komunidad batay sa mga pagsasaliksik, pakikinig sa kwento ng mga nakatatanda sa komunidad at iba pa. And also, the teacher can entitle the lesson ang larawan ng aming komunidad. Okay? Related siya or angkop siya doon sa learning competency na focus ng kanyang lesson. Under dito sa larawan, ang larawan ng aking komunidad, meron ako nakuhang topic about sa ang komunidad natin noon. So, dito sa learner's material, meron ditong kwento tungkol sa ang komunidad natin noon. Sabi dito, noong unang panahon, kakaunti pa ang tao sa ating komunidad. Ayon sa mga nag-aral ng mga nangyari sa ating bansa, ang mga unang Pilipino ay nanirahan sa mga kuweba. Ayan, 'di ba yung etong content dito sa lesson na ang komunidad natin noon ay angkop siya doon sa learning competency na kung saan focus din ng lesson na ito. Okay? At kinuha ko itong ang komunidad natin noon dito sa libro na Lakbay ng Lahing Pilipino. Ayan, for grade 2. Diyan ko siya nakuha. Okay, alinsunod sa DepEd Order number 42, Series 2016, bawat teachers ay dapat makagawa ng Daily Lesson Plan or DLP and Daily Lesson Log or DLL. The very first thing na dapat nating malaman or ninyong malaman is that, yun nga, DLP stands for Daily Lesson Plan and DLL is Daily lesson log. Ang pinakamalaking similarity nila is that ang DLL at DLP ay parang style ng semi-detailed lesson plan. The main difference naman ng DLL sa DLP is that DLP or yung daily lesson plan is used daily. Araw-araw talaga siyang ginagamit. Papalit-palit tayo ng DLP. Sa DLL naman, one DLL is used for a week na. In short, ang DLP ay araw-araw. Ang DLL naman ay pang isang linggo na yon. At sa content naman, parehas lang sila ng nilalaman. Okay? Ito yung content nila. Tingnan nyo. Parehas lang sila ng nilalaman. Okay? Sana maliwanag yon para sa inyo. And tatandaan nyo din, lagi nyo tatandaan na ang DLP ay para siya sa mga newly hired teachers. At ang daily lesson log naman, and after that, pwede na kayong mag-DLL. Kasi yung DLL, ito yung para sa mga teachers with at least 1 year of teaching experience na. At ito pa, class yung medyo nakakaloka. Kasi gagawa lang naman kayo ng DLP since na BE Ed kayo, you are future elementary teachers. Gagawa ka lang naman ng DLP or daily lesson plan araw-araw doon sa mga subjects na tinuturuan mo at sa mga grade levels na tinuturuan mo. Take note. For example, si Teacher May, grade 2 level ang tinuturuan niya. May 7 subjects na handle siya. So, imagine class, araw-araw si Teacher May gumagawa ng lesson plan sa 7 subjects, tapos 4 na quarters sa grade 2. My gosh, ang dami friend. Ayan. So, ibig sabihin, elementary teachers lang ang malakas. Ayan. Pero wag kayong mag-alala, class. Wag kayong mag-alala. Dahil sa paggawa naman ng DLP at DLL, may tatlong bagay kayong kailangan upang mapadali ang inyong mga buhay. Alamin natin siya sa next slide. Okay, ito yung tatlong kailangan ninyo para mapadali ang inyong mga buhay at hindi kayo mahirapan sa paggawa ng inyong daily lesson plan. Number 1, syempre, we have the curriculum guide. Meron tayo nito. Ito yung ginagamit para sa dalawang standards at sa learning competency para sa yung DLP at DLL. Pangalawa, meron tinatawag sa DepEd na teacher's guide. Dito sa teacher's guide, dito nakalagay yung procedure kung paano mo ituturo ang isang lesson. At pangatlo, itong learner's material. Dito naman sa learner's material, para sa dito nyo matatagpuan yung mga activities na kailangan sagutan ng mga learners mo during that lesson. So, pwede na kayo kumuha dyan ng mga activities na ipapagawa nyo sa mga bata. Take note na kapag kompleto kayo sa curriculum guide, teacher's guide, at learner's material, hindi talaga kayo mahihirapan na gumawa ng daily lesson plan. Okay? Since na you are future elementary teachers at gagawa kayo ng daily lesson plan during your practice teaching, you have to be ready. And ngayon pa lang, mag-practice na kayo. Kasi dito during your time sa pag-aaral nyo, this is your training ground. So, ibigay nyo na dito ng best nyo. Yung mga knowledge na dapat nyong malaman, dapat seryosohin nyo yun and give your best. Kasi this is your training ground. Ito yung pinaka-the best time para mag-practice kayo. I-practice nyo yung mga gagawin ninyo kapag kayo ay mag-pre-service teaching na or pag kayo ay magpa-practice teaching na. At preparation din yun para sa pagiging teacher nyo in the future. And claim it na ilang years na lang ay mga teachers na talaga kayo. Ayan. And this ends our discussion. Thank you, class, for watching this video and making this as your guide for doing the task in your module. So, mag-iingat kayo palagi and God bless you. Hanggang sa muli. Paalam!